I just watched a video that said, once a child has become an adult, parents no longer get to be the parent that they want to be to their child. They must be the parent that their child wants them to be to them. So let's talk about it. Most children are going no contact with their parents today for the simple fact that a lot of parents to gaslight their children into forgetting about how they were treated as a child. The podcast I just watched just said what was a regular Tuesday for you ended up being a day that I can never forget as a young adult. And it's the same day that I got to go to a therapist and speak about just to heal from. So what wasn't big to you because that was normal in your parenting routine became a trauma for me that I have to heal from as old. So simply put in my words, in today's time, the relationship has gone no contact. It's just the climax to a story of a narrative that parents created. Because again, remember, for some children, you were never allowed to speak up and to hold adults accountable for the things that they did wrong because that was deemed disrespectful. So you grew up to navigate through life being walked over, being mistreated, and being abused because those are the same patterns and the same things that were happening to you as a child, just by people who had no accountability.
All right, let's get into it, man. I'm gonna have to show that video one more time. I know I am. And probably have to break it down a little bit also. She said that a lot of kids is going no contact with their parents. I have witnessed that. Not my personal experience. I talk to mine. The ones who live with me every day and the ones who don't live with me, we talk at least once a week easily. But I do know of a situation where parent and a child, several situations that they don't speak anymore. But at the same time, I think a lot of kids today, let me say that, because I'm gonna get into the parent side and the children side. I think a lot of kids today are soft. They are soft, man. Like they said in Life, the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, capital S-O-F-T, soft. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be disciplined. I remember watching Kirby Smart in his press conferences. He was like a lot of these freshmen that's coming in to the UGA football team don't want to be coached. They think they know it all. It's one guy on TikTok, Trail or something like that, always going at his uncle or the parents, saying that that's their fault. So I do think these kids are soft. I think you can't tell them nothing. Now, have some parents mess their kids up because of how, with some of their actions? Yes. I think there is some wickedness in the bloodline with some parents and that has hurt or traumatized their kid, and hurt parents hurt their kids. Like they say, hurt people hurt people. And so in that case, yes, I think a lot of kids need therapy because I think a lot of parents needed therapy. But just to raise your kid with discipline and love, good grades, respect, and they don't want that and they upset because they think, oh, that was too hard because little Timmy across the street got to cuss mom out and he get to play video games all day, but I have to go out here and take out the trash and cut grass. See, a lot of these kids don't even want to do chores today. A lot of these kids have zero discipline in their life. And then they think they know it all, but they don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. They can't even wash their own John Hine pots without their parents. A lot of these cats still living under their parents' roof and want to be passive aggressive. The minute my child don't want to speak to me in my house, you gonna get up out of here. I'm just being honest with you, because there ain't gonna be no sharing of kingdomship here. You know what I mean? I am the leader of this kingdomship here. I built this thing, me and your mama built this thing brick by brick. And the minute you want to think you could share in the power, now you got to go build your own. It's time for you to go. So I do think a lot of these kids are soft. I do think a lot of these parents, but I do think on the other hand, a lot of these parents have spoiled their kids. And now they're trying to take some of that power that they gave to the kids back. And the kids ain't trying to give it up. And I think the kids are upset. And now I don't want to talk to mom anymore. I don't want to talk to dad anymore. I'm grown. I can do my own thing. Well, it's time for you to get on. But in a lot of cases, parents did mess their kids up. Like I did one video where this white girl, she might be a woman. I don't know how old she was. She was saying how her mother was grooming her, walk around the house in her birthday suit, doing things on the couch while her and her brother was just watching, having a relationship with men in front of them, grooming them. So I do think a lot of parents have done a lot of hurtful and damage to their kids. I do think a lot of parents probably physically abuse their kids. I grew up on spankings, but some of these parents was whooping their kids with extension cords and hitting with shovels. I heard several stories, man, with that. Yes, that's abuse. If you out here verbally abusing your kids and manipulating them, like one parent telling her kids to lie for her. I did a video on that. Those type things, yes, are damaging. But just raising your kid and giving them 100% of their needs and at least 50 to 75% of their wants or desires, I think that's good parenting. I think that's good parenting. I think you still got to be a parent no matter what. I'm always going to be dad no matter what. Even when my kids, like I say, my kids are grown now, but we go and they want to sit down and have a beer with dad. Yeah, we can sit down and have a beer. We can sit down and have a glass of wine. But there always going to be some certain conversations that's off limit, and there always going to be 100% respect level there. Yeah, we can joke. You know what I mean? Even my kids will slip and be cussed a couple of times. You know what I mean? We might watching the game and they be, forget. And as a man looking at another man or woman, they look over me and they be like, "Oh, sorry, Dad." I'm like, "Hey, you okay? As long as we ain't making this a habit, you know what I mean? You good. You know, I ain't tripping over that little slip up cuss word. You grown. If you at your own house, you be cussing. You around your friend, you be cussing. But we just ain't gonna make it a habit. All right, let's have a beer and keep it. But that was a good ass shot, son. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm always be dad. I'm never gonna be your friend. You know what I mean? I think a lot of parents try to be their kids' friends at such a young age. And then when they try to correct them on anything or take their power back, then that's when this no contact probably happen. But you do have a lot of parents that gaslight their kids. I could speak on some of that because I've seen some parents gaslight their kid, like, "Oh, why are you tripping? That ain't nothing to even trip over." Nah, it was something to them. It might have not been nothing to you, but it was something to them. But then you got to work out your own. You got to work it out within your therapy or whatever you need to work it out, or go to your parents. Instead of cutting it off, I think, instead of cutting or having no contact with your parents, give them an opportunity to correct their behaviors. Parents is not perfect. We always thought they were Superman. And for a long time, you know what I mean? We as men and women, we was disappointed in our parents. But at the same time, we knew that, hey, I'm always love on them no matter what. We might have to put a little boundaries in place, but I'm always love on them. If they ever need me, I'm be there. I don't think you can just go no contact with your parents unless they did some heinous stuff that I won't even speak on this platform, because it is some stuff that parents can do that you don't want to speak to them again. So I understand that too. But if they just trying to be parents and making some mistakes along the way, man, you gotta put your big girl pants on, and big boy boots on, and forgive your parents and be like, hey, they was trying, man, and keep it moving. But let's listen to this video one more time, and then I close it out.
I just watched a video that said, once a child has become an adult, parents no longer get to be the parent that they want to be to their child.
See, I disagree with that. I know I was going to let it play through. I disagree with that. I'm always be a parent. Yeah, you could change your ways to a certain degree because they're adult now. Your conversation's going to change. Like my conversation with my kids, I don't tell them what to do. I advise them. I become an advisor now. I wouldn't do that because of this can happen or this possibly can happen. But you do what you feel the best. That's how I operate now.
Be the parent that their child wants them to be to them. So let's talk about it. Most children are going no contact with their parents today for the simple fact that a lot of parents to gaslight their children into forgetting about how they were treated as a child. The podcast I just watched just said what was a regular Tuesday for you ended up being a day that I can never forget as a young adult. And it's the same day that I got to go to a therapist and speak about just to heal from. So what wasn't big to you because that was normal in your parenting routine became a trauma for me that I have to heal from as old. So simply put in my words, in today's time, the relationship has gone no contact. It's just a climax to a story of a narrative that parents created.
And like I said, I think most kids are soft today. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was a latchkey kid. I seen this sweatshirt that I'm going to have to buy, say Gen Xer, adulting since elementary school. We used to go in the house, clean up. We used to cook. We used to do everything. So in elementary. So we was adulting back then. So unfortunately, I think a lot of these kids here, they don't know how to do spit without their parents. Yeah, man, I know one person don't even know how to order a plane ticket without somebody helping them. And that's ridiculous. This person damn near late 20s. So let's go.
Because again, remember, for some children, you were never allowed to speak up and to hold adults accountable for the things that they did wrong because that was deemed disrespectful. So you grew up to navigate through life being walked over, being mistreated, and being abused because those are the same patterns and the same things that were happening to you as a child, just by people who had no accountability.
All right, people, you know how we do. With that said, the link is in the description. Please like, share, subscribe, man. Thank y'all for watching, for those who stayed for the whole thing. And until next time, man, shalom.